Hello. First of all, I just want to say I have a lot of respect for you, but obviously we just disagree on a few things. The main thing that I just want to talk about is the issue of immigration. And I personally, I don't think it's a bad thing for America. In fact, I do think that it's an amazing thing for America. But mostly the thing that I'm trying to hit on is like how many immigrants are being persecuted right now, including Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Before you respond, or before I even say anything, I just want to acknowledge the fact. I want to acknowledge the fact that we are right now on stolen land, and that we are on indigenous land, and that we are on original Mexican land right now. And for a lot of you guys that are Latinos for Trump. Personally, me, I am a second-generation Mexican Guatemalan, and I am blessed to have been born in America. Although I do not think that Mexicans for Trump should stand for the Latinos in this country. Okay, now I get in. Now
wait. So I just want to make sure. I love this stolen land argument.
Okay.
If we stole the land and you're mad about it,
I'm not saying that it's not a better country right now. I'm just saying that right now, especially like the things that we're taught in school, in public education, we're taught about the Alamo and how it was this amazingly patriotic act, though it was literally stealing a base from the Mexicans in their own land. I think that that's kind of the wrong angle to be looking at things, and that's why I really make it a point to notice that I'm on stolen land at all times, especially when we think about things like manifest destiny.
Who did the Mexicans steal the land from?
Actually, the Mexicans were there originally in Texas.
Nope,
because
not correct.
Because
wrong. They stole it from lots of Indian tribes. That's not correct. Thousands of years before, they were Indian tribes. So the Mexicans
the Mexicans
stole
were
the land.
originally Mexicans were Aztecs and Mayans. And
well,
many
some of
other
them. Hold on.
indigenous
Texas
people.
was not indigenously Mexican, though. There was the Cherokee. There were many different Native American tribes there. So Mexico was participating in manifest destiny at the behest of the Spanish crown.
Yes, at the behest of the Spanish
so
crown.
at some point, you have to believe in self-determination.
Okay.
If you can win the land, it's yours.
Okay.
That's what built the West.
I can agree
and
with
so
you on that.
instead of saying land acknowledgement, we're on stolen land, you know what you should have? You should have a gratitude acknowledgement. Praise God, I live in America. I'm glad. A gratitude acknowledgement would be nice. But what is your question?
Okay. So my question is, how can we protect American-born Mexican
hold on,
people?
first of all, time out. You said Kilmar Garcia.
Yes.
He's not
So
American-born.
I'm sorry. It's gonna connect to it. It's gonna connect to it. I promise you. Okay. So now that the body cam footage has been released and everything, they were purely basing the idea that he was part of MS-13 on the idea that they had that he was. No, he's not. So they're purely basing that on the fact that he had tattoos and the fact that he had 8 men in his car that were going to a construction site. Do you think personally that toothbrushes and toothpaste is purely the only thing that we can go on when to gratify like the idea that somebody is a human trafficker?
Hold on a second. I got a lot of questions here. So let me just say as a side note, the left's fixation on a wife-beating, child-abusing, MS-13 foreigner, as if that's the big fight that they want to have, is so morally disgusting with so much suffering having. But no, that's number one. That's a side note. But I want you to explain this to me. What are these tattoos exactly? Is that not an MS-13 gang tattoo?
I've never seen anybody affiliated with MS-13, but I think that it could be a multitude of things.
So what is that? That's marijuana M, smiley face S, cross 1, skull 3.
Okay.
That's MS-13. Number 2, what was Kilmar Garcia? No, let's go through the facts because you brought up the facts. Number 2, what jersey did Kilmar Garcia wear on a routine basis, and what was the significance of it in the Maryland jurisdiction of gang territory?
He wore a Michael Jordan Bulls
jersey.
Yes,
and what is the significance? What gang wears Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls jerseys in the Maryland proper area?
Okay. Now to flip that on
MS-13. Got it. So in the charging document, you talk uninterrupted. Time out. Time out. Yes, you happen to live in LA, living in Dodger. Time out.
White fence, and the Crips of this area wear Dodgers jerseys. So do you think that I would be affiliated with white fence in
hold on a second.
It's
called a
no. You can't.
It's accumulation of facts. Let me finish.
You can't bring
allow me to. I absolutely can. Allow me to finish.
Allow me to finish. Look at these people. Look at these people that are wearing MAGA hats right now.
Allow me to finish.
Could I say that they're part of a big gang?
Allow me to finish.
Could I say that they're part of a big gang?
Allow me to finish. Can I finish?
Yeah, of course.
You have the hand tattoos. You have the fact that he told the judge in 2019, I'm afraid to go back to El Salvador because another gang will come after me. Allow me to finish without interrupting.
Civil war.
Allow me to finish without interrupting. Allow me to finish without interrupting. Number 3, he wore the Chicago Bulls, which is a gang affiliation in the Maryland area. Now, if you're in LA wearing a Dodgers jersey, that's one piece of evidence. If you're wearing Bulls gear day after day in the Maryland area, and you have MS-13 affiliated things, and you're telling a judge that you're part of a gang, and your wife has filed declaratory distress relief because you're a wife beater, and then finally the fact he's not an American, he broke into this country, and he does not afford the same rights that Americans are.
I'm sorry, but to sort of put that on you, right? He had a green card.
No, he
married.
did not. That is not
married.
correct.
He was
Wrong.
married.
Wrong.
He
That's
was,
not
was
true.
He married? Was
no,
he married?
no.
Was he married to an American citizen?
Does not matter.
Was he
time out.
married to
The
an
judge.
American
See that
citizen?
you got your facts so
Was
wrong.
he an
The
American-
judge said, "Sir, Mr. Garcia, you will be deported at any time for any reason back to any country. The only country I'm not allowing you to go be deported to was El Salvador."
And why was he deported to El Salvador?
That's the only mistake.
was he deported to El
because he was
Salvador?
caught up. Time out. It's not that he was deported that it was wrong. It's not that he wasn't part of MS-13.
Well, the fact that he was
It's
deported was
because-
wrong because he didn't have any due process.
Hold
Actually,
on, no, he had the most due process of any illegal in the
That's
history
actually-
of the country.
That's actually incorrect. He's going through it right now while he's
Well,
in El
hold on.
Salvador. He's going through it
Time
right
out.
now while
in
he's in
2019,
El Salvador.
in 2020, he had due process. The judge literally signed an order saying at any time. And by the way, I just find it so interesting. You do know the fact he beat his wife, right?
Okay, you do know the fact that Donald Trump has raped multiple women and his wife. Okay, yeah. He's a rapist. He raped his wife and multiple women.
Oh, he raped his wife, really?
And he's
What-
on record.
Which
and he's
wife
on record
did he
saying,
rape exactly?
Ivana.
Oh, he raped Ivana.
I do believe so. Yes.
Oh, and what's your evidence for such a claim? Because I have evidence of court documents that Kilmar Garcia beat his wife. Want me to read it? In 2021, Abrego Garcia's wife, Jennifer Vasquez Tura, filed a protective order against him, alleging instances of physical abuse, including being punched repeatedly and scratched. She then filed a second order trying to protect the children from him abusing them on a nearly weekly basis. In 2019, Abrego Garcia was arrested in Maryland alongside other individuals. Authorities claimed repeatedly that were experts saying that the traits of his behavior, his iconography, and his tattoos were MS-13, such as specific clothing and tattoos, citing information from a confidential informant alleging from his gang membership. The judge agreed and signed his deportation order. What is the issue here exactly?
Has he specifically stated that his tattoos were that's ironic when, okay. Has he specifically stated that his tattoos were an affiliation of MS-13, or is that being a narrative being controlled by the Trump administration? Because Trump, let me bring this up. Trump did believe that he physically had MS-13 in the interview that literally just aired a few days ago, where he said that he didn't believe that it was photoshopped MS-13 because weed, smiley face, and skull. How are the skull and crossbones and the cross going to be thought of as 1-3?
Well, that's an interesting question. If it wasn't
Stay
MS-13,
stay high, smile
if it
till I
wasn't
die. Stay high, smile till I die.
If it wasn't MS-13, why did his girlfriend blur out the tattoos on his hand in the recent images they posted together? If there's nothing to hide, why would she show it for the world?
I mean, yeah, you're actually, that was a good point.
Thank you.
Now, let me just bring that up into I want to.
There's nothing to hide. She'd say, hey, here's the tattoos
Yeah.
that she's blurring them out in all the images. That's
yeah.
kind of weird, isn't it? Nothing to hide, let it ride.
Yeah. Now, I kind of want to just transition then to the entirety of immigration.
Last point, then we got to get to more work.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, Trump has floated around the idea of quote unquote deporting homegrowns for the quote most horrible and violent offenders or whatever. So how can we as Americans stop Americans from being persecuted by those, especially ones that aren't of white color? Especially ones that are not of white color, because ICE has repeatedly been on ICE has repeatedly persecuted Mexican Americans and or just Latino Americans for having tattoos and dark skin. How can we prevent people from being that's actually not a lie. That's actually not a lie.
What is your evidence for this?
Multiple articles and multiple
articles
and multiple newsletters that have multiple news broadcasts that have let us know that ICE is racially profiling
do you
people.
think
My father is obviously not white skinned and has multiple tattoos. How can I make sure that he is not taken?
Is he a legal citizen?
I'm talking about when we get
Is he
into
a legal citizen?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course.
Okay, then he's got nothing to worry
Homegrown,
about.
but I just brought up the fact of the idealization of homegrown, kicking
He's
out.
got nothing to worry about then. This is all targeted at illegals that have broken into our country. These are people that have broke into the United States
And what
of America.
what makes them inherently bad? Because there's multiple people that overstay their visas,
Because they've cut in line. So you wait in line this entire time to ask a question, nice and patiently. Is it right for someone just to cut in line after you've waited? Other legal immigrants that have waited to come into the United States.
That doesn't really work because we were moved in a specific order. The same thing happens here, where we're moved into a specific order. Other people are prioritized.
Are you allowed to cut in line to come into a country?
I mean, from personal familial experience, my family are all American citizens now that came in illegally. I will admit that, they came in illegally, and my family did the right process. They overstayed their visa, they came on a trip, but they did the right process. Why is it that we are simply only persecuting those that are coming in illegally and want to just live a normal life?
It does not matter your intention. Hold on,
everybody's bringing up murders. Everybody's bringing up rapists.
There's a lot wrong here.
But what's wrong with that is when rape is committed by men, 51% of all rape is committed by white men. White men.
Okay, yes, and guess what?
So why are we pinpointing? Hold on. Why are we pinpointing a Mexican from the crowd
you're all
and saying,
over the place
"Oh,
here.
he's a rapist"?
Again, what should the penalty be if someone breaks into America?
I'm sorry.
What should the penalty be when someone breaks into the United States of America?
Personally, I think we should help them get processed into the country.
Help them home. That's the only thing. We should send them back to Nicaragua, Guatemala,
the country should
Mexico.
Become home. The country should become home.
Oh,
especially,
so wait, hold on. I want to understand.
well-
the more, do you invite random people into your home and be like, hey, you could just squat on my floor and eat my food?
Hey guys, so that's how you make friends, actually. So when you go to a random person and say, hey, come over to my house, what happens?
So you will just go to a random homeless guy shooting up under a bridge and be like, you're allowed in my home. You're my friend, Jerry.
Why are we comparing a homeless man to somebody in need of like,
because they
national
both
sanction?
need government services, or they come into your own
Also-
property or your own domain without invitation.
And I think it is ironic of you to bring up especially Guatemala right now with the thing that just happened in Tucson, Arizona, right? A Guatemalan woman was detained after giving birth. That child is now an American citizen. Why should the mother be sent back and not to help be here to help her child grow?
Yes, they could both be sent back to Guatemala together.
That's not true because the child was born here.
Doesn't matter.
And
You could still be a U.S. citizen and live in Guatemala.
Well, and under the Constitution, it is now an American-born citizen.
That's highly debated. I'm not going to get into that. But anyway,
Well, why not? Why not?
because
Why not?
we've already been going
It is
for
now
quite
an
a while.
American citizen. It is
Again,
now an
that's-
American
that's
citizen and should be
birthright
a
citizenship.
product-
I believe is not constitutional, and I hope that they'll overturn it.
Birthright citizenship is not constitutional.
I believe
Yet
it's
the
not.
people that, again, going back to what we originally spoke about, people that came over here were
Again,
then given
I
birthright
just-
citizenship. So that means
when-
that everybody here should not
when
have birthright
somebody-
citizenship. It just does not
No,
make some.
there
It does not
should
make
be-
sense in your opinion.
Again,
The way that
there
you just
should be.
stated, that just doesn't make sense. That just does not make sense.
Again, you're talking very fast and not making a lot of sense. So let's try to slow it down. Okay. The final moral question.
Okay.
If I went into Mexico
Yeah.
without proper documents or invitation, what happens to
People
me?
do it all the time.
What happens to
People do
me?
it all the time.
What happens to me?
Are you saying if you get caught? Are you saying?
Yeah, if I get caught, what would the Mexican government do to me?
I guess deport you.
We should do the same. Thank you so much.
They do the same because Mexicans do it.
Thank you.
They do the same because Americans do it.